Okay, guys, so today you're going to be reading two different stories, two different versions of the same story. So if you watch the lesson video that I posted on the assignment, a version of a story is something that is very similar, but has a few differences here and there. So we're going to be reading The Three Little Pigs and The Three Geese, and you are going to have to compare and contrast the two stories. So right now, what I think you should do is you should draw a Venn diagram or a double bubble on a piece of paper, because that's really going to help you answer your questions, because they're all going to be comparing and contrasting questions. So right now, make a double bubble or a Venn diagram on a piece of paper. On top of one of the bubbles, you're going to write the three little pigs. And on top of the other bubble, you're going to write the three geese. If you need to, pause the video right now so that you can make your double bubble. All right, now that you've made your double bubble, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the two stories, and then you'll have some questions to answer. But remember, make sure that you are thinking about how are these stories the same and how are they different. And we don't want to just talk about the characters. We don't want to just say, well, the characters look like this and that character looks like that. That's why they're different. We really want to think about how the characters act. We want to think about the setting. Where is this taking place? And we want to think about the plot. What happens first, next, then last, and see how those things are the same and different, not just the characters. All right, so I'm going to start. This is The Three Little Pigs. It says it's a folk tale, which is a fable from England. Long ago, three little pigs grew up and left their family home. One built a straw house, one built a wood house, and one built a brick house. One day, a wolf found the straw house. "Let me in, little pig," he called. "I won't," said the first pig. "Then I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," cried the wolf. That's just what he did, and the house fell apart. The little pig squeaked and ran to his brother's wood house. But the wolf soon found the wood house too. "Let me in, little pigs." "Never," yelled the two brothers. "Then I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." The wolf blew hard, and the house fell down. The two brothers squeaked and ran to their brother's brick house. The wolf followed them. "Let me in, little pigs." "We won't," they all cried. "Then I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," the wolf growled. But this time he couldn't blow it down. So he crawled up on the roof and slid down the chimney. He fell into a pot of boiling water the little pigs had put in the fireplace. The wolf never bothered the pigs again. So you need to think about who the characters are, what the problem is in the story, what happens first, and then in the middle, and then in the end, and how did the characters act. So, and the setting. So that's the first story. That's in your one bubble. Let's read the other story. That way you can compare and contrast and say, well, this story had this and this story had that. The Three Geese, a folk tale from Italy. So it's a fable from Italy. Once upon a time, three geese built a straw house together. But the oldest goose decided to keep the house for herself. "Go away," she said to her sisters, and she locked the door behind them. The two younger sisters built a second house of hay. Then the middle goose decided to keep it. "Go away," she told her sister, and she locked the door behind her. The youngest goose went off sadly and built her own house from stones. A wolf came upon the flimsy straw house, and laughing, he blew it down. The oldest goose ran to the middle goose's house. Her sister sighed, but allowed her in. Unfortunately, the wolf was close behind. With one breath, he destroyed the house. These two geese ran to their sister's stone house, and she welcomed them in. The wolf soon arrived at the house. He tried to blow it down, but the stone house didn't fall. Then the youngest goose had an idea. She began cooking soup. "Would you like a taste?" she asked the wolf. "I would," said the wolf. The goose opened a window and threw the hot soup at the wolf. He ran away howling, leaving the three geese to live happily ever after together. So now in your Venn diagram, you should write, how are these stories the same and how are they different? Well, you could start by saying that they both have a wolf that is the mean person in the story. So that could go in the center. You could also say that they're both the same because they both are talking about three animals and three different houses. But you also have to think, how are these stories different? What does the three geese, they tell us something at the beginning of the story that does not happen in the three little pigs. So that could be one way that they're different. Also, the end of the story is not necessarily the same either. Yes, the wolf ran away, but how did the wolf run away? So you guys need to think about things like that. You got to think about the details. How are these two stories the same and how are these two stories different? So go ahead and finish up your Venn diagram because it will very, very much help you when you start your assignment.